story about mass hysteria. Now, a health warning. If you are in any way sensitive to eggs, there will be picture references to chickens and human-made chicken noises throughout this video. I would advise you to mask up and wear gloves. As normal, I started with my light box, a piece of Daler Rowney smooth 140-pound watercolour paper and a Tombow Fudonosuke hard-tipped brush pen. This isn't footage of me drawing this actual illustration because it was too cold for my camera in the studio this week. I made a colour off of the image before I started because this week I am not using watercolour paint. I repeat, I am not using watercolour paint. I know! Don't faint. This week I'm using Derwent Inktense pencils, which are water soluble, and they are magic. More about that later. Now, to the story. It was a sunny morning as Chicken Licken, sometimes known as Chicken Little, was walking on the edge of the woods. He was looking for something a little yummy for breakfast. You know, like a beetle or a centipede. Worms were okay, but he fancied something a bit more exotic today. Out of nowhere, suddenly something knocked him on the bonce. It made Chicken Licken jump right out of his skin.
"The sky is falling in! The sky is falling in!"
he shrieked.
"I must run to the castle and warn the king!"
The little acorn that had actually fallen from its mother tree rolled away innocuously and later grew into a great oak. Chicken Licken, though, had no idea. He looked at the growing clouds in the distance and made his own assumption. Racing along the path to the castle, he bumped into Henny Penny. Where are you going in such a rush?" she asked.
"The sky is falling in! The sky is falling in!"
he shrieked.
"Help me run to the castle and warn the king!"
Henny Penny, much alarmed, turned on her bony little heel and ran after Chicken Licken. "The sky is falling in! The sky is falling in!" they yelled. Further along the path, they found Ducky Lucky bobbing around on his little pond. Where are you two going in such a rush?" he asked. "The sky is falling in! The sky is falling in!" they shrieked. "Help us run to the castle and warn the king!" Ducky Lucky had never heard such scary news, and he found himself leaping out of the pond, giving himself a little ducky shake, and then tearing off after the other two. "The sky is falling in! The sky is falling in!" they panted. It wasn't long before they ran into a flock of geese, one of whom was their friend Goosey Loosey. "What the heck is going on with you three?" she called as they rushed past. "The sky's falling in!" they yelled over their feathery shoulders. "Help us run to the castle and warn the king!" Now, normally, Goosey Loosey is a sensible sort of bird, but on this morning she was feeling overly jittery due to the extra espresso that she'd had at breakfast time. Normally she'd only have the one. "What?" she shouted, feeling a terrible grip of fear growing. "Wait for me!" And she left behind her flock and legged it after the other birds. Further along they saw Turkey Lurkey. He was strutting his stuff, trying to impress his lady turkey. She'd seen it all before, though, and was paying little attention. He stopped and looked on in interest. "The sky is falling! The sky's falling in!" they called as they ran past. "Help us run to the castle and warn the king!" Much alarmed, Turkey Lurkey waggled his tail feathers and started off after the others. Racing along the path to the castle, the four of them were stopped by the crowing of Ducky Lucky, the king's official cockerel, who was out surveying his land. Oi, oi, he crowed. What are you lot up to?
The sky's falling in, the sky is falling in,
they yelled over their feathery shoulders.
Help us run to the castle and warn the king.
Now, not much gets past Cocky Locky, so he quizzed Chicken Licken. What makes you think the sky's falling in? He asked suspiciously.
Part of it fell on my head. Over there, in the woods. It's starting there, and there's a crack that's coming this way, and the sky's going to fall in over the king. We must warn him to put a pillow on his royal head.
This seemed very credible to Cocky Locky, so he joined the others in panic and raced towards the king to give him the news.
The sky's falling in, the sky's falling in,
they quacked, honked and crowed. Not long after, they bumped into Foxy Loxy, who was trotting around the perimeter of his land. "Hello, everybody," he said. "You all seem to be in a hurry. What's going on?" Chicken Licken was not normally a fan of Foxy Loxy. He had a bit of a reputation. But this was an emergency, so he decided to spill the beans.
The sky is falling in! The sky is falling in!
He squeaked.
Help us run to the castle and warn the king!
No way, said Foxy Loxy.
Yes way,
said the birds. Let me help you, said the fox. I know a fast route to the castle. It's this way. And he turned and started to veer off the path. The others followed him, wanting to get to the king as quickly as possible. However, naughty Foxy Loxy had no intention of leading them to the king. He was, in fact, leading them to his kitchen and his family. Chicken Licken, Henny Penny, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Loosey, Turkey Lurkey, and Cocky Locky all followed the fox down to his lair. Now wait just a cotton-picking minute. This is not the way I like to end a story, although if you think about the moral, I guess it is a lesson in not getting swept away by hysteria and fake news. Here is the end that I would like to hear. Let me help you, said the fox. I know a fast route to the castle. It's this way. And Foxy Loxy started along a different path, one that led to the side of the castle. But part way along, he reconsidered what Chicken Licken had said. He pulled up to stop. Now, tell me exactly what happened when the sky fell in, he said kindly to Chicken Licken. So Chicken Licken recounted how he'd been pootling around and suddenly he felt a dunk on his head. Said the fox. You weren't under an oak tree, were you?
Oh!
Suddenly Chicken Licken felt like an absolute fool. Of course, it wasn't the sky. How could he be so stupid? Thank goodness, said Foxy Loxy. So, now you see we are all going to be okay. It wasn't the sky falling in, was it?
No,
said Chicken Licken.
It wasn't the sky falling in. It was my head falling up.
Okay. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that. Aren't those pencils magic? They look relatively dull until you put some water on them and then they ping into life. If you didn't catch it yet, my last video was how not to name your character. And it ranked 1 out of 10 for views for its first few days. You can honestly never tell what is going to be popular. Next week I am going to be investigating ChatGPT to see whether it's a great idea to help you write a picture book or whether it's just a cheats way to get rubbish books on Amazon. I'm off to turn sweet corn into a unicorn. I will see you next week. Nano nano.